Hey friends and welcome. This is Dr. Heather coming to you live from Ask Dr. Heather. Super excited for the questions you guys have sent me. So thank you everybody who participated yesterday. If you're brand new to Ask Dr. Heather, please welcome. Put a big star down below and let us know that you're brand new to Ask Dr. Heather page. You can also, if you want to start your day in the right way, you can download your free guide at AskDrHeather.net. Simply push subscribe and you can download your keto guide to start your day in the right way. So the big question of the last couple days have been, and if you're brand new to Ask Dr. Heather, you know what happens is people start piling in questions to me as the question piles up and what's most popular get answered. So can you gain weight on keto? The answer is yes. Maybe you're trying to lose weight, maybe you're trying to gain weight, but you can absolutely gain weight on keto. And question number 2, do calories matter? Hate to tell you, calories always matter. Calories are an expenditure of energy. That's how our body utilizes or makes energy. So what you eat, when you eat, how you eat it definitely does matter. So let's stop back and go a little bit slower. So if your goal is to actually lose weight on a ketogenic or low carb diet, which is the majority of the people, then you do have to create an energy deficit and you want to eat in a shorter window. That way your body can burn off the extra glucose and glycogen that you're eating. Even on a ketogenic diet, you're still eating carbohydrates from vegetables, from nuts and seeds, protein. You're still going to get some carbohydrates in there, but you don't want to have them in excess, which takes your body outside of ketosis. Or even on a low carb diet, when your body's not producing ketones, you're still creating that negative deficit. However, if you overconsume calories, that can be an extra tablespoon or 2 of butter. Just think about that for a second. We can have 3 heads of cabbage equal 9 calories. Seriously, by the time we digest it, 1 tablespoon of fat, whether it's duck fat, whether it's grass-fed butter, coconut oil, it's about 110 calories. It adds up super quick. So calories do matter. And we know that the size or portion of the calories are very dense when you're talking about a ketogenic diet. So I had several people writing into me, what's happening? What's going on? I'm staying under 25 net carbs, but I'm actually gaining weight or I haven't lost any weight at all. So first thing is start being a detective. Let's look and see what you're eating. So start writing down what you're eating, and then start identifying if you're full. So for example, I saw someone's food diary and they had chicken or tuna salad with mayo, so that's the fat, plus they had little bacon bits in there, which is a fat. Then they actually had an avocado on the side, which is probably 3 servings of fat. Then they decided to have a chia pudding for dessert. So that was extra fat and extra calories. So way too much food. Somebody else's food diary, I saw they were having bacon and eggs for breakfast, and then they were having a Caesar salad, which is great, but more dairy, a little feta cheese, a little Caesar dressing, so fat. Then at dinner, they were having, I think, a 6 or 7 ounce steak. So I'm not picking on anyone, but these are great questions, because oftentimes when we overeat sizes of protein, because we're talking about maybe eating too much fat, and then when you talk about protein, you really don't want to eat over about a 4.5 to 5 ounce serving of protein, because you're overeating protein. We still use insulin to digest it. That excess protein, yes, your body will get amino acids, it'll make some antibodies out of it and help make nice healthy hair and things like that, but the excess protein, good luck, see you later, does get stored as fat on your body, so that will be excess calories. So for example, if you take a piece of prime rib, 3 ounces of prime rib, that's going to have more calories than 3 ounces of tuna. So calories do matter when you're talking about that. That's why we talk about all the time macronutrient confusion. Have chicken one day, have beef one day, have a white fish one day, have a red fish one day, have poultry one day, have a fast one day, to give your body time to rejuvenate through that. The same thing is true when you're actually having vegetables. So what happens is our body needs energy to run on. We eat food, our body breaks it down through the metabolic process, and then we get things like ATP and oxygen that our body uses for energy. We know whether you're eating ketones or carbs, it still supplies energy for our body, and we do that in the units of calories. So we still have to maintain or be mindful that we're not overeating or overserving ourselves. I know it's super easy to overeat fat bombs. Talk with someone today, say, gosh, I just can't wait for my fat bomb. I know myself. True secret, if there are fat bonds in there, I have to count them and actually limit myself because I do love them. Yes, they're healthy fat. Yes, they help add to my total fat grams. They also will help add to my total of fat grams. So if I overeat keto bread, if I overeat fat bombs, if I overeat guacamole, I'm still going to have too many calories. My body possibly just can't burn that, so it stores it away for a rainy day. So that could be stored again as well. So we generally say that fat can be stored, but your body uses what it needs and stores what it doesn't need. When things are water soluble, things like lettuce and cucumbers, things like that, your body just digests them pretty efficiently, and they're mostly water soluble. So those things aren't stored. But I can tell you the major questions are, I can't seem to lose weight on my ketogenic diet. So number one, start being a detective. I would say the first thing we talked about yesterday is actually cut out the snacking, cut out the handful of thanks for the thumbs up and the hearts. Start cutting out those little snacks because they'll add up pretty quick. If you get a 1 ounce, I should have done that, a 1 ounce or 1 tablespoon serving and see that that's like 3 olives or like 6 cashews, it's very, very easy. I think 1 jar of peanut butter is like 1,900 calories. And I know if somebody let me, I can eat that whole jar of peanut butter. So that can happen as well. So when you're trying to reset, maybe you've already been keto low carb and you kind of let carb creep happen, or you let fat come right back in. That will happen because as you figure out how to make these fat bombs, how to make these amazing keto desserts, or how to make keto bread, originally you weren't making those things and you were having some success, and now they're creeping back in and now the weight's creeping back on. That's because you're probably overeating. And just because it's keto doesn't mean that you need to have a whole bunch of it. It's still the same thing. Eat when hungry, stop when full. So a really good tip would be we know it takes 20 minutes for our stomach to tell our brain that we're full. So eat your couple handfuls of vegetables with maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil, have your 3.5 to 5 ounce servings of protein, then wait 20 minutes. I know that's super hard, so get up, clean the dishes, do whatever you're doing. If you're still hungry, then go back for a second serving. So a lot of really good tips. People say, I feel like I'm never full. I feel like I just need to keep eating. Well, have your vegetables first. Raw vegetables are live enzymes. They actually help pre-digest your food. So when your salad comes first when you go to a nice restaurant, it's actually for a reason, a very good reason. It helps as a pre-digestive enzyme. So have your salad with your decadent fats. Fats could be olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, it could be duck fat, almond oil, sesame seeds themselves, nuts, those type of things. All those amazing fats can absolutely be on your salad, but they add up pretty quickly, especially if you add a side of bacon bits or a side of feta or a little guacamole or avocado. Those fats will add up super quick. So just be mindful of that. And then start really looking at the size of your protein, because that's what I'll see oftentimes. People bring in their food diary, everything's keto, everything looks great, but they're having 6 to 8 ounces of chicken breast, for lunch, another 6 to 8 ounces for dinner, maybe it's steak or a pork chop. That's what Atkins was. Atkins was high protein, right? Low carb and kind of moderate, supposed to be high fat. So when we talk about a ketogenic diet or a low carb, high fat, moderate protein diet, a couple things can happen. Either we're overeating because it's so easy to do because stuff is so yummy. So not 6 deviled eggs, just 1. I heard that today as well. But I just wanted to help answer those questions. I had a lot of people saying, could you just address that? Because I am not losing weight. Everyone talks about it. I finally got in ketosis, or I finally cut the sugar out. However, I'm not hitting that goal on the scale that I wanted. Remember, there's a lot of things that are non-scale victories. So fat is, occupies more space than meat, so to speak. So when I say muscle's heavier, 3 times heavier than fat, fat occupies more space. It's all jiggly and doesn't, where muscle's nice and dense. So as your body shrinks, maybe you could be increasing lean muscle mass and losing that unwanted fat, but the scale might not change as much. So don't just only go by what the scale says. Make sure you take measurements, and measurements several places, starting at your neck first. Both men and women like to take a measurement there. I actually have a YouTube video on how to take measurements. And then for women, about 1 inch below your armpit or axillary area, then take 1 around your bust for chest for male and female, and then a couple on your waist, a smaller part of your waist, around your belly button, and then 1 around your hips, 1 around your inner thigh, 1 around your calf, 1 around your arm. Take multiple measurement spots, because oftentimes it's hard to tell where your body's going to pull that fat from. It could be from your arms, it could be from your bottom, it could be from your tummy. You just never know. So take those so you see those non-scale victories, or go by how your clothes feel. That's an easy way to do it. I know a lot of men go by belt notches, which is fantastic, or shirt ties sizes. That's fantastic as well. But in the other case, there are people like my son who wanted to increase lean muscle mass. He was traveling with a hockey team, and they were having peanut butter and jelly and fruit and banana. So really toddler style eating at a AAA level, where we had to go back and say, let's go back to having beef sticks for a snack. Let's have olives and pickles. Let's go back to real food, having, hamburgers and things like that, not the peanut butter and jellies and those foods. So there is a way to actually increase lean muscle mass and gain weight on a ketogenic diet. That's simply by increasing your overall macros. You still keep the ratios the same, where you're still having high fat, then maybe increase your protein to a 2-to-1 ratio, so you're having excess calories. And as long as you're working out and burning that, so when you work out, we tear down lean muscle mass, we create inflammation, the body comes back and rebuilds that up. As long as we're fueling that properly, that will happen, and you absolutely can gain lean muscle mass on a ketogenic diet. And now we're seeing that all over Men's Fitness, some of the women's health magazines. But most of the people that are on here listen to me are really, their goal is to actually have a lesser body composition, keep their heart disease down, their cancer risk down by having a body fat percentage really under 30% for females who are over 50. If you're actually around 35, you probably want to have it under about 26 for females. And again, male would be about 9% and 18%. So be a detective. Start writing down what you eat and when you eat it and say, you know what, am I hungry or was that just convenient for me to eat? So that's a really good tip. The other tip I want to give you, because somebody said, I know I'm eating enough calories, but I get kind of fidgety at night, kind of antsy at night. I used to eat popcorn. I used to do other things. So what can I do? Instead of eating a whole jar of nuts or eating a whole jar of olives, which again are keto friendly, however, those calories add up, especially at night, and it can disturb your sleep pattern. The minute you finish with dinner, brush your teeth, get that taste of food out of there. You can drink things like hot water with lemon or a little bit of essential oil or a piece of peppermint, a piece of mint in there. That'll keep your mouth nice and fresh. And as long as your mouth is nice and moist, then you're not going to have that craving control. Weather's getting much nicer. Go out for a nice walk up and down the stairs if it's too cold where you are, but just distract yourself so you keep yourself busy. And the next rule I want to make, so I had a lot of questions, I can't seem to get exercise in. I'm just too busy. I don't belong to a membership. I have too many kids and I can't leave them, or after school activities. Simply find a way that's within your home. So when I was home with my kiddos, and I have 4 young boys and I was working, we would do things like I would have a laundry basket, and I would have them throw balls of socks down to the laundry basket, and if they missed, I would have to run it up to them or bunny jump up to them. So lots of fun ways to do that. We were at practice, soccer practice, lacrosse practice, hockey practice, whatever. I would simply walk the stairs, walk the stadiums. I'd grab a buddy. I'd find a way to get some exercise done. My husband used to take the bike trainer, so we'd sit on the soccer field. We'd take the trainer or bike and just put our bike on the trainer and find a way to do that. Or the great way to do, we talk about this all the time, every time you get out of a chair, do 5 squats. Every time you get up from your desk, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or dad or grandma, and every time you get up from doing something, do some push-ups against the countertop, against the wall. All that works your core. There's lots of different ways. Again, take 1 or 2 trips up the stairs. Take an extra 10 seconds for yourself. So that will also help distract it. Now, I'm a little bit off target, of course, as usual, but this is meant to be shared. If you're watching this on replay, please put a sunflower down so I know that you're watching that on replay. Why a sunflower? Because we are here in the state of Kansas. So the question today was, what happens? How am I gaining? And do calories matter on a low-fat ketogenic diet? The answer is yes. Calories do matter. I generally don't have people count calories. I have them look at proportion sizes. We want to teach you how to live this lifestyle. So you actually tune in and you figure out when you're hungry. Say that you did a whole bunch of exercise yesterday, so you're going to be hungrier today, which is normal because you burn through your energy. But then today, maybe you're just going to be sitting around, maybe just watching a movie, not doing so much. Then your calorie expenditure is less. You don't want to eat the same amount of food on a high activity day as you would on a low activity day. So don't expect you to say, I'm having 1,200 calories every single day. I'm walking 12,000 calories or 12,000 steps every single day, because people have those, the Fitbits now start telling me, and there is a certain window that you want to eat within. But again, it can change as your body chemistry changes, as your metabolism starts to kick back on and fire back on, and we get your body healthier and a more efficient fuel burning machine. Remember, 3 ounces of steak is definitely different calories than 3 ounces of tuna. So rather than counting calories, just look at the rotation of food. Most people on here are over the age of 35 or 40. You probably only need about 7 to maybe 9 ounces of protein. Even if you're moderately active, going to the gym for 30 to 45 minutes, excluding stretching, 4 or 5 times a week, people oftentimes overeat protein. I know it's easy to do because the 80s ladies and 80s men in us tell us to do that, but just start being your detective. Write things down, start seeing what you're eating, and then practice some of the identification of when you're hungry, when you're not. And then someone else sent me a message today, and I saw that she was having cheese on her eggs, and then a Caesar salad with some extra cheese, and then a steak dinner with some cheese on some broccoli. Ditch the dairy, or maybe it's peanuts. I saw someone share earlier. Nuts add up super quick. Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, those things are lower in calories, still amazing in zinc and amazing in manganese and magnesium. So just switch your nuts to your seeds for a month and see what happens, and just make sure you're measuring them out. Oftentimes, again, once you start digesting them, they're very nutrient dense. Your stomach will get used to smaller portion sizes, but make sure you're getting enough of that roughage, because what happens is raw vegetables, those live enzymes, those pre-digestive enzymes, they grab a hold of excess fats and toxins, and they bind up and scoot them out. So I generally recommend 50% raw, 50% cooked vegetables. Cooked can be steamed, they can be broiled, they can be grilled, they can be sauteed, any way you want to do that. But just make sure you're getting half and half, because that really does help scoot out some of the excess toxins toxins and fats, and then get your body sweating as the last one. So my thing is, if you're a person who's stuck, I do have a great YouTube video on breaking stalls and plateaus, but know that it is possible to get stuck or to gain weight on a ketogenic, low carb, high fat diet because you're probably overeating, and you could be eating in too big of a window. That means maybe eating at 6 a.m., clear up to 9 p.m. That's too long of a span to eat. We know that eating in an 8-hour window is really optimal for about 90% of the people. So great. Joanna's found out that if she eats too many peanuts, she gets sick. So great news. That's one of the top 10 allergens. Ditch it out. The same thing if you're eating eggs every single morning. You want to create that rotation, that macronutrient diffusion. Have a turkey burger maybe. I like to have tuna salad for breakfast, brunch sometimes. So just start writing things down. And again, I want to thank you guys for joining me. This is Dr. Heather from Ask Dr. Heather. And don't forget, if you're in the Overland Park area, we have a Keto Live party here shortly at about 6:30, and we're going to share some keto up. And I think I'm going to make a keto mud cake, so stay tuned for that, because everyone's asking how do you make a keto mug cake, and it is super healthy, super low calorie, but no, I can't have it every night, and no, I can't have it late at night either, because that actually keeps my nervous system up, and it probably puts me over on calories. But I do want to show you how easy it is. So when you're having that craving for a chocolate, or you have that one special date night, or that one special treat for the kiddos that came home from school because they did great at school or something like that, or a promotion, you have that go-to dessert that's minimal recipes that you can make super quick. So thanks again for joining me, guys. If you're watching on replay, put a sunflower down. Don't forget to jump over to AskDrHeather.net, download your guide to start your day in the right way. See you guys soon.